I really care about ROI for the partner, where I say to them, you need to make money off of this. I'm going to make money off of this. And if it doesn't make money, let's talk about it. Yeah. The statistics for me, whether I'm betting $1 or $10, it doesn't change my video views. Some of my worst performing live streams are when I go above my weight on betting, because that's just not relatable to the live audience. Now with my audience, I will go live, and the title of the live is filming my YouTube content. And then they get a little kick out of watching the YouTube video because they're like, I'll watch that live.
Welcome back, everybody, to a special episode of the SlotsFan podcast. We're here in Las Vegas at the Global Gaming Expo, and I've got the fantastic casino fanatic Andy with me.
Hey, welcome. Thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, it's so great to see you, man. I think we met for the first time here last
year, yep, at the Palms.
Yeah.
And then we had some other things, yeah.
Okay, so like I briefed you right before the interview, we're kicking off these new interviews with a rapid-fire question, a quick spin. All right, I'll do a section. So, like we talked about, we'll try to keep the answers a bit short, but some of these topics are great to go into more detail, and we can chat more about it later.
And you can follow up with you want me to,
for sure,
enhance on it.
Yeah. Okay, question number one. All right, Andy, your favorite slot of all time?
I would say the Reel 'em In Bass. The WMS game, it's an old one. Nickel, 9-line. You go fishing. I wish they had it. I'm surprised they haven't come back with a modified version of it, but Reel 'em In.
Is it available anywhere anymore, or is it not?
I mean, some casinos one in Minnesota I know still has it, but you can't find it on the floor.
Go to like the Bahamas or the Caribbean. Yeah,
it's probably down there. Is that, yeah, up there? Yeah, Reel 'em In.
Sounds sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you play the online fishing themed games?
No, I don't get those.
Okay.
I see them, I look at them, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
They're popular.
Yeah.
Second, kind of the opposite, the slot that's most likely to steal all your money.
Typically, I would say Buffalo or Huff and Puff. Although I did win a decent amount on Huff and Puff today, surprisingly.
So once in a while, it's going to pay off.
Correct.
I keep saying this to people, and nobody thinks it's a good idea, but they should do a mashup game called Huff and Buff.
Yeah,
Buffalo Huffin.
Oh, I'm sure it's coming.
I guess it would be a collab between two studios. Okay, the best destination casino resort, in your opinion?
I really like Ameristar in Black Hawk, Colorado. It's up in the mountains. It's a non-smoking venue. It's beautiful. They have a spa. The gaming floor is nice. And then there's like 10 or 15 other casinos that you can walk around to. So it's up in the mountains. Beautiful property.
I saw some of your content from there, I think, and it looked really like a sweet destination. It's pretty for all people to check out.
Yeah.
Okay. Best loyalty program?
I have to go with Caesars Rewards because I do gamble there, but there's not, but they just give me a lot of free flights and a lot of perks. I don't get a lot of free play, but I do go out on their charter flights a lot.
Nice. Okay, best trick for getting casino comps, something people might not know about that they could put into practice.
But that's a question I'm not going to be able to give you a good answer on because I feel like for me, I don't get a lot of comps.
Okay, so you need to watch the other interviews.
Well, so here's the challenge. My local casino advertises 95% payback. That's what all of their machines are set to. In exchange for that, they don't have a lot of free play.
Okay, what's your opinion on that? Which one would you prefer?
I'd rather have the higher RTC,
right?
Yeah.
Do you know what it typically is at other casinos here? I know it's sort of at the discretion of the casino.
I mean, I'd say typically if you look at the gaming stats, it's 90% and under.
Okay. Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. We're here in Las Vegas, so what's the best lesser-known Vegas place to visit that people might not know about, but somewhere they should check out?
Well, I like Palace Station for their bingo.
I love bingo in Vegas.
And so I do enjoy Palace Station for the bingo. I would say I went to Mardi Gras Casino, which was not much of a casino other than they were super friendly. It really felt like a locals vibe. But I also think people should give Downtown Grand a chance. I like Downtown Grand.
Yeah, I was at Downtown Grand on Sunday for Gamble Smart. Had a meet up there. I'd never been there before, and it's awesome. I loved it. Yeah, super nice people too. Yeah. Okay, good answer. Favorite slot influencers?
That's a great question. Well, I would say that it has to be Brian Christopher. I've known Brian for a long time. That's why I started my channel, is because I met him and I watched his videos. And so I would say Brian Christopher. And I'm going to be honest, though. I try not to watch influencers to feel like I'm stealing ideas from them.
Okay.
So I kind of intentionally don't watch a lot of my peers because I just want to feel like I'm doing my things on my own instead of copying.
It's hard sometimes to not do stuff unintentionally that you see that you like from other people. So yeah, that makes sense. Brian Christopher, though, solid answer. Yep. Okay, classic 3 reels or new video slots?
I would say, I should have said this for my all-time favorite, but 3-coin Wheel of Fortune is my favorite. If that's the machine I had to play out, I love the old 3-coin Wheel of Fortune.
High volatility or low volatility games?
High volatility.
Higher the better?
Yeah. Only, and here's why. I'm a low everyday gambler. And so I love the idea of betting $1 or $1.50 and winning several $1,000s.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So if I was a higher limit player, I'd probably choose lower volatility.
Okay.
But for me, it's all about multiple times a bet.
Yeah, I feel that. Hold and win or hold and spin style bonus or a traditional free spins bonus?
I would say the hold and spin.
Yeah.
I'll say, not to follow up on it, but I really don't enjoy the bad games and all these new trends of these things that make you think you're close to a bonus. I think that's really bad.
Like the
Whether it's gambling to stick with it. Yes, that's not even real, though.
I know. Well, I mean, it shows you that it's been a longer time since it hit, but it doesn't change the...
But it doesn't even... Sometimes these new ones will come up to a big... It'll go, and then after like 3 or 4 spins, it'll pop like it's big.
Oh,
so I really think it's actually bad for responsible gambling.
I agree with you on that one. I don't know how many people really understand that it's not a thing.
It's marketing.
Yeah. It works, though. I think it's effective. Yeah. Most common question you get asked in chat or in comments on your content?
Most common question. They're really all over the place, to be honest with you. I don't feel like there's a consistent one, but...
Weirdest one, then, or most?
Well, I think the weirdest one in the sense that I tend to be an oversharer, and then I don't realize that I overshare, and then somebody will bring up something I said on a prior live stream, and I'm like, how do they know that? And I was like, no, I said that about my personal life.
So taking out things that you didn't know you shared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody, I wanted to take a very quick break to tell you about our sweepstakes casino of the week, Crown Coins. I personally play on Crown Coins and tons of other sweepstakes casinos, and I can tell you that Crown Coins is one of the best. I recently bought a coin package for $23.99 and I got 65 free sweepstakes coins. And remember, sweepstakes coins can be redeemed for cash prizes at a rate of $1 for 1 SC. I played Gates of Olympus and Fire Stampede 2, and I ran it up to 238 SC. I did a redemption for 200 SC, and after I verified my identity, I received an e-transfer the next day. SlotsFan is an affiliate of Crown Coins, so if you want to check it out and see what bonuses and games are available, please use the link in the description of this video. Thanks very much, and now back to the show.
Most common casino myth that people think is true?
Well, I think we kind of touched on it earlier of the pots, but I would say in the casino myth itself is like there's this, I do hear this a lot. Oh, don't go on the weekends. Like, give me a break. It's a slot machine, it's a computer, it doesn't care what day or whatever. It's like there's no special time to win.
There's lots of ones like that, like people say in the morning is better. The location of the machine in the casino can influence that.
Well, and even like people say, I don't go to the casino on drawing days because they make the machines tighter that day.
We're going to have people arguing with us in the comments about that.
That's fine.
How did they do?
I'll tell you right now, they don't.
You heard it here. Okay, most annoying slot player behavior in the casino.
I'm going to go off the wall and not the traditional ones. Mine is the ones that are just obnoxiously loud.
Like verbally or?
Just like, yes, verbally loud, who are playing it. And I'm very happy when people win off of small stuff, but there's just people yelling at the machines like it's listening to them. and like they're going to punch it. And it's like, dude, this is a machine that does not care about your emotions. Stop yelling at it.
Probably like red flags that maybe you're not playing.
Maybe, yeah, your red flag usually 86 out of the casino.
Okay. When you hit big, whatever that means for your bankroll, how much is going back into the machine that day, or are you taking it and walking out?
I'm not putting most of it back.
Okay.
I'll tell you, my biggest win ever was a $17,000 drawing win, and I took that money and put it into a CD.
Okay.
So I didn't want to take that big win and be tempted to go back more and more, so I locked it up in a 9-month CD.
So you guys, you make some money off it, I guess.
Yes, and then now, so there's that.
Tipping on big wins, yes or no? And if yes, how much?
I personally do tip. I will tip ending between $20 and maybe $60, $70, depending on what I win. If I don't know the people and they just like, it's routine, I'll just give them 20.
Yeah.
If I know them, they're my locals and they hype me up when I'm there, but I don't understand why someone would tip more than $100 on a jackpot.
Guess it depends how big we're talking here.
I would say, like, I know there's a lot, it's very controversial when it comes to tipping on these huge jackpots, but most people have to wait like 7-8 hours to get paid, if not longer. They just want to get out of there.
Yeah. They should be paying you extra money for having to wait 8 hours. Next question, free play or room and food comps?
Room and food comps, hands down.
One thing you learned that you wish you had known sooner about slots and casinos?
I would say probably those persistent bonuses weren't actually real,
Yeah.
because I chased them for a while thinking they were.
They're very compelling looking. It's hard to not, like, even if you know it, I think psychologically it's messing with you, right?
It is.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's not good.
You already mentioned it, but the last question is your biggest win. Could you tell us the story of that drawing and the win and how it all went down?
Sure, yeah, my wife was out of town. Our local casino had this rollover jackpot progressive for drawings, and they had this big barrel over 2 months, and they drew one name every 2 hours, and if that name was there, they won it. If they weren't there, they rolled the jackpot over and added more to it. I was sitting at home at 9 o'clock at night. The drawing was at 10. My wife's gone. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. Put my ticket in. I called my name. Wow, $17,750.
Good decision to go in.
The crazy thing about it is they just paid me cash, like right out. They counted out in front of everybody. I'm like, gosh,
They put a target on me.
you did.
Yeah. You often get checks, right? Or like, do you
I don't.
No? Okay.
I don't win that much big of money.
Okay. That's all the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
We had a bit of a chat before we started the interview. You told me something really exciting, that you've taken a bit of a plunge this year and you've decided to dedicate yourself to this slot influencer business full time, even to the point where you left your previous role. And I know you had a pretty serious profession.
Yeah, so I was a chief operating officer for a company, and I don't have kids. And my wife, I was like, I either need to see if this can be a business that's sustainable, or just really keep it as a hobby. So we saved up money. We saved up enough to go a year without really affecting things too much. And after a year, if it's not producing, I mean, I was signed by a talent agency, so a lot of things are in motion. That's good. But yeah, it's a big risk. Obviously, it's a decrease in income.
Yeah.
But at what point do I say, I got to follow my dreams? And maybe the dreams mean I don't really want this.
Well, congratulations on taking the plunge. It's always really scary, but I think it's always inspiring for people to see someone following their dreams.
Yeah.
And it seemed like I've known you for a bit, and I know you're a pretty strategic thinking person. And so it sounds like you can take a shot at this in a safe way.
Yeah, no, it's very strategic. Again, I wouldn't recommend people become casino influencers full time because if you don't have plans, the money side of it can get really tough quick.
Can you tell us what it's, give us kind of the nutshell version of what your career as a slots influencer's been like so far? Sure. How did it start out, and what are the kind of levels or experiences that you had to get to the point where you actually left your job?
So I started my channel December 2020 because the pandemic, and I was bored on TikTok first, or I got TikTok first, and then grew that very quickly up to 100,000. And then I was like, well, I better start putting stuff out everywhere else. And so, but I didn't focus on YouTube until like the last year.
Yeah.
And so time after time after time, the challenge that I have is as a business professional, I didn't want to be greedy. I felt greedy asking for stuff with the understanding that I actually do have influence. So now I'm kind of more like, not greedy, but more like I do provide value, and that's where we're kind of focusing on the business. But I would say, from what I've heard from my partners that I work with, for the size of my channel, I outperform a lot of their other influencers. And so that's why when a talent agency approached me to represent me, and they're starting to get some pretty good deals in because of some of my metrics.
That's really cool. I mean, I think you're different, like your channel and audience and platforms are different than the typical land-based slot channel, like starting out on TikTok and Twitch.
Yeah.
Appeals to a really different group of people who I think are a bit more aligned with online slots compared to like the typical channels out there.
Yeah. To me, filming me sitting in front of a slot machine by myself is not fulfilling to me personally. I'd much rather be, and I think this is where I'm different. I would much rather be live than just filming and live streaming way more. I live stream a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm better.
It's interesting, the live stream versus like pre-recorded videos that you release. I think these are related, but the community building and the relationship that you build with people, having that like in real time where they can talk to you and you can talk to them.
Yeah.
Really, from my view, builds a really strong community. And I think that translates to signups or to being able to provide value for all.
Well, I don't want to break a secret, but I'll tell you what my secret more recently is. I'm going to tell you. Is now with my audience, I will go live, and the title of the live is filming my YouTube content. And so I'll talk to them, and I'll tell them this is a machine. I'll let them pick the machine, and then I chat to them, and then when I'm actually playing it, I'm talking like as if I'm filming myself, and then when I'm done with the video, or with that slot, then I go back to interacting with the chat.
So it's kind of like double dipping a bit, but no,
It is.
but it's better than a lot of people try that, but they don't change how they talk, and then you get these YouTube videos where you're talking to chat, and it's like a lot.
I do have some of that, yeah. I do have some of that, but more recently I've been trying to just tell the audience I'm not going to talk to you if you want to watch with me.
Kind of what I'm doing on my YouTube channel, yeah. That's
And then they get a little kick out of watching the YouTube video because they're like, I'll watch that live.
oh, like
So that's usually part of them.
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you've experienced over the last 5 years. You know, in 2020, we saw just an explosion of popularity of this kind of content. I think because of the pandemic, people couldn't get into the casinos themselves. Can you walk us through how the last 5 years have gone and the changes that you've seen or experienced in the slot influencer space during that time?
Sure. I mean, I think that there's been a lot of good, but there's a lot of, as it's brought more creators. So when I started on TikTok, there was not a lot of people like me on TikTok. This was before they allowed live streams. This was before any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just pushing content out. But now TikTok is it's a no-go for gambling. And I don't know how I don't get in trouble for the videos I post there.
Not actually, no. You don't know.
I do know.
Okay.
Because of the cheating and the scamming.
No, I mean, how do you get to?
Oh, how do I get to do it? So,
Because this is something that I'm aware of, is that you post content on TikTok and have for a long time that may not fly with other channels,
it does not.
right? So what's that all about?
Well, I would say one thing is I have over 100,000 followers. And whenever there's an opportunity to meet with TikTok, which I have a TikTok creator rep, and I have TikTok Discords that I'm in that's just for TikTok people. Whenever they reach out to me to talk, I talk to them.
Yeah.
And so I do believe that I get a little leeway,
The size and the
the
relationship.
size and the relationship.
Okay.
And whenever they do a survey, I fill it out. I mean, they actually want, I'll go, they really are probably because they want me to do TikTok shop, live shopping.
Okay.
That's really what they want me to do. I probably could make way more money TikTok live shopping
Okay.
than I could as a creator right now.
You got to do what you are passionate about, I guess, right?
Right. But I would say, yeah. And I feel like, now my Facebook account is not recommendable because of gambling.
Okay.
So they're cracking down on gambling as well.
I was at the Canadian Gaming Summit. I'm from Canada, and I went to a party at the TikTok office there. And this is like not real news or anything, but they talked a lot about how they're trying to loosen up the restrictions around gambling content on TikTok, and that maybe we can expect some changes to happen that'll make it a bit more accessible.
Well, now that they're sold,
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes.
Was that scary for you when all that stuff was happening about TikTok getting shut down, or what was that like for you?
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that kind of stuff. Like, everybody was freaking out, and yeah, I could have lost 120,000 followers, but at the end of the day, there's not money in TikTok right now. There used to be money.
Yeah.
I used to make good money, but there's no money in it now.
What part, this year, I guess, is going to be, it's kind of like a make or break thing for you in terms of how seriously you're going to take this. Is it going to be a hobby, or is it going to be a business for you? What parts of your business are doing well, and can you provide any insights or advice to other influencers who maybe aren't on as many channels as you are, or haven't explored some of the opportunities that you're...
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's really about having the people you work with trust you and help you out. My biggest partner, I was out to dinner with them last night, and I just gave them my views on stuff and tried to help them, not related to trying to get more for me. It was more like, here's what I see as someone who knows a lot about slot machines. Here's some of the things, and like, I've created a mem. So it's like going above and beyond what you're asked, I think, is really important towards the relationship side of it, because
We're talking about sponsors and...
partners, because they have a lot of choice to work with whomever. I think where my strategy is a little bit different, I really care about ROI for the partner.
like the value that you're providing to your partner, yeah.
And that's very upfront with them, where I say to them, you need to make money off of this. I'm going to make money off of this. And if it doesn't make money, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think just being honest with people, that don't lie. The numbers are going to be, the secret to getting a 1 million viewed video on TikTok's not that hard, but it's not going to be the views that are going to be meaningful.
Yeah.
And I actually think, and this might be controversial, but I think there's a lot of influencers out there who buy views, yes, and view likes, and buy subscribers, buy likes, buy video views. Because when you actually do the analysis of their channel, the ratios don't even make sense. Well, yeah.
Do you think that's done in an attempt to attract sponsors and that kind of thing? Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah. But like, it's such a short-term strategy because like your deal's not going to last for any amount of time.
And to be honest, for influence, don't ever do that, because it messes up your channel.
Yeah.
But it also, the people I'm working with now are becoming way more savvy on it, and you're going to lose any deal if it looks like the metrics don't make sense.
Yeah, I think there was a period of time, a few years ago when operators, like sponsors, were just, they thought it was just a cash cow to work with influencers, and the deals were so big, and they quickly, I think, were brought back down to reality with a lot of channels in terms of like the real signups, FTDs that a channel can provide. So yeah, it's because I guess there's like, it's not mutually exclusive, but you can monetize your channel on the platform, and you can also look at revenue streams from sponsors and other places.
For me, in my channel, I have several partners. The actual revenue from video sharing to YouTube, all that stuff, very, very small.
Yeah.
Compared to the deals with all of my sponsors.
You mentioned live streaming as one of the ways that you've been able to kind of punch above your weight in terms of the size of your channel. What other stuff do you focus on it? Because it's a different game if you're looking to connect with audience members and have them sign up and start using a product that you're sponsoring versus just trying to work on the algorithm to get your...
Well, I think what I'm trying to do more in a business sense is, old Andy would just throw out a bunch of random videos, what was on my mind at the minute it was on my mind. And on TikTok, that worked. But I think now the algorithms are getting confused on what my content is. And so one of the things that I'm prioritizing and is actually seeing a lot of growth is putting a lot of time and effort and not trying to go too far off of, I thought to myself, oh, I heard this casino joke, I'm going to tell it. Well, that's just not my brand. And even though I want to put it out there, sometimes I have to say, no, that's not going to go with what is going to drive. It's going to bring down my average views. So stop that.
And confuse the
algorithm.
Yeah.
It's going to be when the partners look at my metrics, they're going to be like, they're going to look, it's going to bring down my average view per video. So I just have to stop doing that because that's what they're paying off of.
I mean, at the end of the day, your organic growth and reach is pretty closely tied to your opportunity to sign people up and reach customers for your
Yeah, it is true. And at the end of the day, I mean, again, being honest, I would probably make a lot more money as a video game streamer from the people that have approached me to try to stream video games.
Interesting.
Like Fortnite and some of these other ones. And I just turn them down because I'm like, that is not my passion or interest. So I turn down a lot of money for deals that I'm not even interested in. Like, I'm just not a video gamer.
So, I mean, it's might be short-term appealing to do that, but it's hard to like do something that you don't love for a long period of time and make it work. At least you really love slots and gambling.
Well, I mean, I'll do what I feel passionate about, but I mean, there's so much money out there everywhere else. I actually think, although like some of these newer ones are really starting to do it, I actually think for the really, really strong people in this gaming community, slot influencers, there's a lot more money to be made, but it's only going to be made by smart people.
Ooh. Can you share any insights into where do you think that?
Well, I think that and now that I have an agency working with me and talking with them about it, these brands are, like you said, there was a gold rush for influencers, and now they're really starting to identify what they want to do. These people that go out and lose $10,000 in a weekend at a video, it gets views now, and there's a lot of channels doing that now.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to stay ahead. But I feel like you need to be, I don't know, smart about it.
I think there's different kinds of people are in it for different reasons. There's plenty of channels that even before they were filming, they were already spending $10,000 and that's just what they love doing. And now they get to like be a celebrity about it. Yeah, which is great. But I think it's different. Like the way you're approaching it as a business is like, you're trying to make money, and spending all your money on gambling isn't going to help you
Well,
money in the world.
The statistics for me, whether I'm betting $1 or $10, it doesn't change my video views. It does not change my live streams. Some of my worst performing live streams are when I go above my weight on betting.
Interesting.
Because that's just not relatable to the live audience.
What is it about your content in your channel that you think people connect with in the live setting or otherwise?
Because I'm very, very, very diligent in reading as much of the chat as I can.
So engagement.
So I mean, when I'm live streaming, I'm Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, every time, and all those comments, I'm reading them. And I feel fortunate that I can multitask that way. But it's about feeling like, and it's actually like when someone, I feel like my audience would say, Andy really cares about us. Because they know, because I do. Yeah, that's why I'm not trying to force things down them. I'm like, play this video game, support me.
Another way that you're different from a lot of channels is that you play online, and you have played online for a long time.
Yep.
I know there's, I think in general, a trust issue with a lot of online casinos these days.
Yep.
There's a lot of different operators. It's hard to tell what's trustworthy, what's not. What's your take on the sort of like current state of affairs in the U.S. when it comes to sweepstakes, real money gambling in certain states, crypto casinos that are available to anyone that wants to use a VPN? What's your view of the current scene?
I think there's a lot of bad actors now who are taking advantage of people. But I also think there's a lot of, like when it comes to the sweepstakes model, it's almost like this organized group effort to try to take advantage of every sweepstakes casino operator. So there's this trend now with these new social casinos offering instant redemptions. And when I hear them say they're doing instant redemptions, I'm like, you're violating money laundering laws. you're violating, you're going to get charged back on. Like, these sites are just trying to get ahead, and it's surprising that they're then running out of cash because there's so much fraud in the social casino world from the player.
No oversight.
No,
I mean,
player fraud.
Okay.
Because they know that it's going to be hard for them. They're not going to go after them in court. So I know groups that I just know that would make $100,000 in purchases, spin it real quick, 1x through, cash it out, and then redeem, and then charge it back. And then the banks are like,
That's like the oldest fraud.
right. And that there's so much of that in the sweepstakes world.
So it's a real risk for operators.
It's a real risk for operators. I think people think that, and I think here's the honest take. Most sweepstakes casinos make very, if any, money. Just because those free sweeps they have to give every day, people win money off of that. I think people just assume that these sweepstakes casinos just are raking in the money. I've talked with a lot of them. It's not a good business.
Doesn't seem to be stopping people from starting new sweepstakes casinos every day.
Because they're defrauding people.
Do you think that's part?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how to, from a,
So, like, I'll give you an example. The new trend with these sweepstakes casinos is creating new rules limiting that if you win off of your free sweepstakes, you can only redeem up to $25. And so they're making it they're going to the crypto route, or the back in the day,
you see that in the, you've seen that in the,
all those casinos, the 500x percent bonus. Yeah, it makes me go back to the wild west of really offshore Caribbean casinos that were not legitimate. And I think that's where the sweepstakes model, and where I actually think the sweepstakes model is actually going to go, is that the bigger players who are more legitimate are going to eventually pivot into being allowed to be legal online casinos and take away the sweepstakes, some form of regulation. And from what I've heard with that is that they're open to that.
So you've described some risk for the operators, but also some consumer risk when it comes to, what sweepstakes site you're going to choose might have a big bearing on.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, is I lost several $1,000s from a sweepstakes casino that went under.
Okay. What's your advice to people who don't have access to regulated real money gambling, are thinking about trying sweepstakes? How's one to choose? And what are some, flags to look for that this is something maybe a good choice or a bad choice as far as sweepstakes?
I mean, I think there's only like 2 handfuls of companies I would trust people to use.
Do you like naming those companies, or let people?
I mean, obviously I work, the B2, which is the Play, Fame, McLuck, all of them. They're huge. The Chumbas, the Crown Coin, some of these places. But I mean, to be honest with you, if I put up $15,000, I could create my own sweepstakes casino and defraud everybody. Yeah.
You can start in a month.
And I should not be able to do that.
Yeah. Where do you think you described a bit about where it's going, but what do you think the steps will be to get to a place where the bad actors are pushed out of this space and the reputable companies have a maybe more regulated or more legit?
I mean, I think that it's all going to pivot, right? So the sweepstakes casinos so this is what you have to remember. FanDuel and DraftKings used to be viewed like sweepstakes by this industry here as what sweepstakes casinos are now.
Yeah.
They stuck around, they worked with it, they were not legal at first, they did all this stuff, but then eventually it became that way. So I just think naturally the big winners are going to be able to stay around. And these other people are just going to, people who really want to run a casino, I mean, you can just go crypto.
Yeah.
But crypto's not any better. So my advice to people are going to do it, don't chase all this free stuff, because sometimes things are too good.
And you think, generally speaking, that the bigger and longer a brand's been around, the more reputable, or at least like the better the chance that you're not going to lose your money.
Here's what I would have to say is all that really matters is, do I think this company has money?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of sweepstakes places, because I talk to a lot of them that I don't work with, but I know they are in cash flow issues. And then there's a lot of them that are delaying payouts.
If too many people try to withdraw, also
It is a big problem. And I think having like segregated money to pay some of this stuff off is a real issue.
but that's not a rule. No one has.
This isn't a rule, no. And that's why I think the bigger brands want to, Chumba just partnered with a couple of Native American tribes in California to try to make it be tribal gaming. So they're going to find ways to work around it. The next one people are going to do is the virtual horse racing. Like there's horseplay.
Yeah, which is an interesting model.
It is. I don't understand how that's any more legitimate than sweepstakes coins.
It's a different loophole.
It is a different loophole. It's all loopholes at the end of the day. But at the same point, that's what I'll tell you. I play some crypto places. They always pay. I got my biggest jackpot ever was 22,000 on a crypto site.
You might say what site it was, or no, a crypto site. What are the crypto sites?
Yeah, it's one of the bigger established ones. Not stake.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, like the average player is not spending tens of thousands of dollars. They're playing for hundreds of dollars. The risk is perhaps not like enormous for taking a shot at some of these casinos, but like on SlotsFan, we review sweepstakes casinos and we provide honest feedback. We go through the process, but you gotta acknowledge that there's a big range of like trustworthiness.
So this is what I would say if I was ever going to run a sweepstakes coin business. This is the feature I would offer to people. I want to lock up $500 of my sweepstakes coin money for 7 days. What happens is people withdraw it and put it back on, withdraw it and put it back on, just because they want to like manage their budget. But I would say, look, as a responsible gaming thing, like I don't want you moving your money back and forth because that creates expenses and stuff like that. I wish there was a feature that said I could take this amount of money, a 7-day timer on it or something. Yeah, time safe however I want it, that I know it's not going to be something. I'm guilty of it. I could build up my bankroll and I just keep playing. It goes back down. I'd love to be like, I'm putting 500 in for 7 days so I can at least lose that back. Because then if I put it back in my account, I'm tempted to go put it back on. And then there's just so many fees that, credit card fees.
That's really interesting. It's a great analogy that you make with DraftKings and FanDuel. It seems like people's memories are pretty short. They don't remember when it wasn't too many years ago that they were just do DFS stuff and they were labeled pretty so.
Oh, yeah, stuff. Totally. And now
they're the kings of the.
And now we've got the like Kalshi and some of these other ones, the poly markets where it's a trade, not a bet. And it's like, well, then I think it's going to be not that inconceivable that I'm going to be like turning the poly market trade into a slot machine trade.
I'm not an expert, but I fail to see why that isn't possible.
Yeah.
Display the forces.
Yeah. And if I can bet on Britney Spears to make a comeback by 2028, but it's a trade.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I actually have a Kalshi account and play it, but I think when you look at the industry as a whole, I mean, to be honest with you, I think there's too many gambling options for everyone everywhere in the country, and it's not great to see like all these, we see the cashless gaming, we see all these, like my fear with cashless gaming, we're kind of going off topic.
No, it's all good.
If you can hack right into my business, my checking account or a line of credit or something like that, I feel like it's way too easy to lose money instead of going to the ATM and paying $11.99.
I mean, it's another interesting part of the influencer space is that you guys have a voice that you have a level of trust that people, they trust what you say, and you also have the experience. So
right.
It's an interest, like the proliferation of gambling options is so fast and so huge, especially these days. It seems like influencers do have a role to play in terms of educating people and, not just as sponsors, but just as knowledgeable people that are trusted by the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm down every single year in the casino. That's reality. You're going to lose. And I tell my channel, if you never go to a casino, if you've never been, don't ever go.
So There's some quote that's like, it's an interesting game. The only winning move is not to play.
Yeah.
But I also,
But I love it.
but it's an entertainment thing. We all spend money on a million different kinds of entertainment. So as long as you acknowledge, like embrace it as a sunk cost, like it's not a way to make money, no, but it is a way to have fun. And once in a while you are going to win money, which doesn't happen in other forms of entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the people in the sweepstakes world, which is just different than crypto, the thing is that there's a lot of people that I see who seem to think they're going to game the system with the alternate method of entry and send all these envelopes in and do all this stuff and then spend so much time and effort on all of that just to gamble it all away. And that's, if they want to do it, they want to do it. But
I mean, you mentioned it as like it's a obstacle for sweepstakes operators because they legit do give away a crazy amount of money to like, like at SlotsFan, we do challenges where we just try to do the daily redemption for as long as we can. And it's a fun way of getting a free bankroll. It's not like you're going to make a fortune or anything, but you can have a little free bankroll on different sites every month or every couple months or whatever. So I like that part of it. I'm not writing letters or anything, but even just by logging in.
well, even my live streams with my sweepstakes casino, I'm giving away 3,000 to 4,000 worth of sweepstakes coin every live stream.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame people for thinking these sites are making a lot of money when you see so much.
Well, that's a big site.
Yeah.
That's a big site. That's why I would trust them. If the site been in business a long time and doing the giveaways, that's one thing. Again, I just know because I had a previous partner that went out of business. So I know a lot of, that I got screwed too.
On this podcast, we talk a lot about land-based games, and there's obviously the most popular games that lots of people are familiar with. With your experience online, do you have any favorite online games that you would recommend people checking out with a reputable or sweepstakes or a real money gambling?
Unfortunately, most of my favorite games were pragmatic and they left the industry. So I haven't found, like, it used to be Gates of Olympus, but that's just not available here. Now, if they put some of these games in a live casino, Austin. But I mean, I think right now I'm in that mode where I'm trying to find what I like from a machine level, because I used to love playing that provider and they just left the market.
Yeah. It seems like game developers love cloning other games, so maybe we'll see like
They're already doing it. They're doing it already. Yeah. But it's just, coming with time, I guess.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Part of me wishes that states and provinces in Canada were a bit more open-minded to regulating online gambling, because you just see this thing where the regulation doesn't really stop people from playing, but it just creates a gray and black market situation where people are less protected than they would be otherwise. It's not like regulating is not going to make people start playing, or not regulating is not going to make people stop playing, but you're just in this position where like people keep finding loopholes. They'll keep finding ways to get around the regulation, or they just will disregard it entirely. Like so many crypto sites just don't care. And they do whatever they want, including marketing in ways that regulated operators can't do.
Well, I mean, I think even if you look at in the state of Wisconsin, right? Outside of tribes, gambling is illegal. But they've carved out a little, we won't enforce it if you have 5 or less slot machines in your bar.
Okay.
You can win hand pays at a bar and not have any paperwork filled out because they're just for amusement only, but under the table.
Here's your operates the machines. Like they buy it.
They buy them, yeah. Really, they have operators that will go to all the... So this site might be like, we're completely against gambling, but then every bar has 5 slot machines.
Like everywhere. And people like them. It's
fun. I like them.
Crazy.
I like them.
I know you like them.
But no, they're very... That's a lot.
Who knows what's the regulation?
And those are probably paid back at 80%.
Right. And there's no oversight.
Still no regulation, no oversight. So it's like, I hear in this industry about wanting to, they go after sweepstakes casinos, which I understand to a certain extent because there's a lot of bad operators in the space. But there's so much other gambling that is like straight up not great. With, and at least on the sweepstakes ones, in the pay table, it tells you what the RTP is.
Yeah.
Where the bar or these other places, or...
I mean, that's the thing, right? At least with sweepstakes, for the most part, the games are provided by reputable game providers that are regulated, and their games come with some kind of oversight when it comes to RTP and other stuff.
Well, and I think one of the things people miss out on is that, let's say you're playing this particular game on this particular site, and you're like, this site's rigging it so I can't lose. It's like, you have to understand that that game title is actually on the server of the game provider, and the site can't hack in and manipulate to say, don't pay today.
Yeah.
It's on a different server.
I don't think that many people understand that very clearly, but it is true. Like, and that's a good, if people are worried about trustworthiness of games, because there's a lot of people commenting like, oh, it's rigged, but it's just like us. That's not really true if you're playing on a real game developer game. Yeah, it's just licensed by the online.
Well, I think it's not rigged. I think the problem people have is that, and I know it just from experiences, you can put it on 100 spins and it just auto plays 100 spins. So in a casino, there's a moment of spin, and you can look around and spin. But literally, I'm watching TV and it's on 100 spins. And you lose weight, you look away and it's still going, it's still playing.
You can still do turbos.
No, it's the and then you wonder why you're just exposing yourself to the actual variance of gambling. The more spins you get in, the more you're going to lose.
Yeah.
So I think when people misconstrue it as our sites are rigged, but the fact of it is, you might do 500 spins in a live casino in an hour, but online you're doing 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and that RTP is going to catch up with you.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned at your local casino, they offer a higher RTP compared to other casinos. At least that is true with online. Generally, the RTP is a lot better. But if you do twice as many spins, it's not going to make it for everybody.
You can't ever beat it. You can't beat that RTP.
And I would say the volatility of online games is like more volatile than people may appreciate. Like, they take it to a pretty crazy extent these days.
And myself included, I tend to gravitate towards the volatility ones.
Yeah.
The high volatility.
I mean, there's some big max wins out there online.
I've gotten many max wins, but it's max wins on one sweepstakes coin.
Yeah.
But it's 5,000x.
I love the big multipliers on small bets. That's just so much more exciting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, my live streams, I'm only doing 1, 2, 3 sweepstakes coins a spin.
Yeah.
And my streams get pretty good views.
Yeah. I also think like the environment of the live stream lends itself to like, it's an experience. It's a different experience. It's a social, a lot of people, when I talk to land-based players and influencers about online slots, and I come from an online casino background, I played online slots before I ever played land-based slots. A big complaint is that like, it's not social, which can be true if you're playing by yourself. But I feel like the live stream environment that's built around online is even more intimate than the land-based live stream, because you're sitting at a computer, you can see chat really clearly, there's not a million distractions. That kind of environment, that's sort of what got me into slots in the first place. And it's interesting, and people like you don't have to necessarily go to a casino to do it. You could
and so what's a really cool feature on PlayFame is they have a thing called Play Together, where I'm live streaming a game, the people can go into a chat and they can say, I'm going to match Andy's spin.
betting behind.
Not really betting behind. They can bet whatever kind of. So if they're doing 1 sweepstakes coins and I win a 50x, they win 50x.
Yeah.
And at first I thought that's stupid, right? Because it puts pressure on me. Like, if I'm losing, I feel bad for these people.
It's all the same, right?
But these people much rather do it because when I get excited, they feel a part of it.
Well, you know that like in casinos, that the scene when you're play craps together and like everyone's winning together, losing together. It sounds like that kind of experience. So that's really cool. Yeah, we promote PlayFame, and yeah, I think it's a really cool site. And I love the influencer angle with you and a bunch of other influencers. So
I like working with them a lot.
Yeah.
The whole company, all the brands under them.
Yeah. So you're in Vegas now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your plan for this trip? I know that you love gambling. Yeah. So how excited do you get when you get to come out here to Vegas, and what are your plans for the next couple of days?
I do love to gamble, but I'm trying to, like, I saw Wizard of Oz. I saw Wayne Newton. If you haven't seen Wayne Newton, even though I'm way under his demographic, it was super cool to go see.
Nice.
I think for me, I'm trying. I have a lot of meetings with a lot of brands and a lot of potential partners, and I know there's like a party every night, and now I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to a party. I just want to go to sleep, or gamble. But so I have a lot of meetings. So if this is actually like last year when it wasn't my job, it was more like, and now that it is my job, it's more like I gotta be on like on time, or when I'm getting recognized, it's like, all right, that's cool, but yeah,
So you're gonna find a bit of time to gamble.
oh, I've already lost too much already. Just don't. No, when it comes to the industry too, when it comes to influencers, here's what surprises me the most. I reached out to a lot of casinos in Vegas to see if they would let me come in and film, and they just ghost you. I wish they would just have on their website, like, creator friendly.
Yeah.
Or sign a form that you can do it.
I know there's a few that people like El Cortez seems like they're just open for business. Here at Venetian right now, it seems like it's all good to go.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, El Cortez is an interesting. They embrace creators with a lot of money.
It's paying off, man. It's paying off. They're doing good. They're doing good. Yeah. Ellis Island is like a small property, but they're pretty nice to creators. Hospitable. Yeah.
Great.
I think it's gonna change. I think people are gonna come around to the idea of embracing creators and the positive impact it can have, and other ways of utilizing them, not just making content, but they're great spokespeople for brands and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think it is, and like I've done commercials that's where the influencer real money is, and commercials and advertisements and all that kind of stuff, because you can do more than just show up to a property, but you can. It's very powerful. That's why I don't understand why Caesars in Las Vegas and Caesars in most of the country is very anti-creator. Only place they've been friendly to me is Laughlin, when they actually did give me a contract that I could do to film. In Laughlin, of all places. But it's kind of forward thinking. I know, Laughlin was the one place that Caesars were like, yes, you can film there. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I think there's so many examples of casino industry stuff that's a bit behind the times. It seems like a feature of the land-based casino industry, and I'm optimistic that it'll keep changing, and this will become more a part of the scene.
I think that if they establish rules, it would just be better.
Be better for everybody, like for the influencers and patrons and the casinos.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah. SlotsFan accreditation program coming soon for the influencers and casinos.
Oh, really?
Should. Yeah, maybe.
I would love to just know, like, where I could go and not, like, have to be, like, making all these emails and messaging people.
Yeah, I mean, I get that there's a comfort level of the casino. They don't understand it well enough to feel comfortable with what the consequences of having someone filming on their property may be when it comes to privacy and conduct and stuff like that. So maybe if there were some ground rules that you all agree to, it could help everybody.
Well, that's what I think. It has to be established as ground rules. And then there's also like Illinois, their gaming board is anti-creator. The process to be able to film in Illinois is you have to tell them which slot machines you're going to play.
Really?
And you have to give a specific date and its hot start and end time. And you have to go through a background check with the Illinois gaming.
It's like, I got a license.
Yeah, it's a game. It's just for it is to film, and it's like, it's not even worth it anymore.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because influencers do have a lot of influence, and the bigger channels do change the way people think and feel about gambling. And so, at some level, I think there's a responsibility for consumer protection when it comes to that kind of marketing. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. The amount of channels piling into the space these days seems wild, and it's cool to see that there's still room for creativity, and you see channels popping up that are doing really well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens up the next couple.
I think the next thing you'll see in the casino space is actual celebrities starting channels.
Well, dude, it's on the table for any celebrity that could become the biggest slot influencer in the country. Day one.
George Clooney, live streaming.
Anybody. Yeah. Do you know, like, Trainwrecks TV? You know that story? This is the same with other influencers. Other gaming influencers could start streaming slots and make a lot of money. So, yeah. You could tell your talent agency about that. It should be known at all. Yeah. Okay, Andy, I'm so happy to catch up with you. Thank you for the nice, long, almost 1 hour long interview.
I tried to keep it short.
Hey, man, this is a nice industry angle here at G2E for everybody. So, yeah, appreciate it. And best of luck this year, man. I think if that whatever happens, I hope that you have a fantastic year. I've had it that it goes well for you, whichever way it ends up going.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.